My darling Tiny Phone subscribers, it's been a while since we last connected. In an ongoing quest to fill my terrarium with tropical plants, I'll be adding 3 specimens that I think might thrive in these conditions. With Marmite, some people love it, some people hate it. I find with the Cissus discolor, I both love and hate it at the same time. Now, I've tried multitude of ways to grow this plant, and it comes a certain time where it just all goes wrong. So, I'm going to chop up a few of these leaves and put them in the moss on the sides just to see what happens. I've also chopped off this scraggly bit of a type of Scindapsus. I believe this one's leaves stay slightly smaller than others. So once again, I'm going to chop this up into tiny little pieces and insert it into the moss on the sides of the terrarium. And finally, believe it or not, the star of the show. I received a plant very similar to this, possibly about twice the size, from Ruperope, about 2 months ago. This is an Terrarium windalingaringalingi. If you type what you think I said into Google, it will come up. I chopped the bit of the stem of it that was underneath the soil of the original plant in an attempt to have a second plant from one plant. And this is the tiny baby that has grown. This Terrarium is actually known for its gigantically beautiful long strap leaves. So we're a long way off now. However, as I do now have 2 of these, I have decided to pot this one up nicely on the side and see how it gets along in the terrarium. Without further ado, let's start chopping. Right, so as you can see on the Cissus discolor, we are looking at nodes. Nodes is basically on the stem where the leaf grows out from. Some of these stems you'll find a whole round bit, some of them have roots growing out of them, but basically you can see if we're looking at this stem here, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a bit too juvenile, so we'll just count 6 cuttings that can be taken. Now, what we have are a multitude of very small cuttings. Now, I've chopped off the excess stem on each side because that's all we'll be needing. Some of them have aerial roots protruding and some have absolutely fuck all. With these excess pieces of stem, there's no node, it's just stem. These are going in the bin. Identical process for this Scindapsus. I'll be chopping up the node sections along this entire stem. There is a lovely little cutting there, tiny little aerial root, lovely little leaf, and a bit of stem ready to plant up. This one, for example, here is just a node cutting, so there's no leaf, nothing at all. However, this will grow, people, in the same way that one would with an existing leaf. Excess stem, no use, bin. And finally, this one. Let's pull him out of this pot with the roots and see what we're working with. This is what we're working with here. Fantastic. Let's see what we can do. So what I'm doing here is looking at my terrarium and seeing if I can spot anywhere that I think would be quite good to plant. Now, I had a begonia in here before. It has melted down, but knowing begonia, there is a high chance of it suddenly coming back to life again. However, so, look at that, perfect. Little baby in there. Don't particularly want to use any more of that wire. So I'm thinking with the Cissus, if I can wedge it into some moist moss somewhere, and then kind of hope for the best, this might work. We've got this wire. I'm just going to chop it up into a tiny piece here, like so. Bend it, my little thumb, and get a sort of hook shape like that. Is going to insert into the terrarium, into the foam backing, and hold the plant cutting in place until it roots. Right, for this little one here, I've decided to stick him at the base of this little twig. And what I want to do is just on this bit of moss is attach it with some fishing wire. So that's what I'm going to go and grab quickly. Possibly hard to see. Oh no, there we go. And there we have it, fishing wire. So I'm going to tie this around here, darling. Actually, I'll do it this way around, it'll be a bit easier. A perch as well for it, because I'm a lazy bastard. Right, simple tie. None of this fucking boat knotting business. And put it to, whoops. There we go. Chop off that excess wire. Boom. There we go. Little close-up resume. We've had the Windalingy Ringy Wingy Lily, that one there, which is incredible, and Terrarium. We've put lots of one-node Cissus discolor cuttings everywhere, including a bit of node in there as well. We've got some Skindapsis, some newer ones that I've popped at the top. 2 there, 1 on each side for a bit of symmetry. I've popped a couple of nodes down here, so I thought they'd just pop out of nothingness. It would look quite nice. And finally, this little one, which I'm hoping in high humidity the roots will attach themselves, and it'll start climbing up here. So, fingers crossed on the project. Little update for you, my tiny phone subscribers, who I love ultimately more than anyone else. There we have it, little private update for you, my little tiny phone subscribers. On that note, one love, tiny phone subscribers.